Hello, Trinity West Seattle. It's Pastor Joel here, and I am here to tell you about this new series that we're starting this coming Sunday called Dwelling with God. Way of life in the spiritual disciplines is sort of the subtext under there. But before I get into that, I just want to greet those of you who are newer to our church. Maybe you're even only gathering with us virtually online. You've found our YouTube channel or something like that. So glad that you've joined us. I want you to be connected to God and to His people. That's our hope for you. You know, the Bible tells us that the church is not teaching. It's not a YouTube channel or a video feed. The church is people. And so we want to encourage you to get connected to God's people, the church. And so we'll have a little thing here in the bottom of the screen telling you how you can do that and learn more about what it would look like to get involved in a community group, which is where we kind of do life together. We build friendships. And even, as I'm about to tell you, as we get into this series, we'll even be practicing some of these spiritual disciplines throughout the series. So let's jump ahead to that. Let's start talking about that. I want you to hear first about the goal for this series. Depending on your background, you might have kind of different ideas of what you think that this series is going to be like or what it's going to be about. If you've got a really religious background or a Catholic background, you might be a little scared as we're about to talk about this. But maybe you're on the other end of the spectrum and you're just really excited. Maybe you've really benefited from things like Bible study or prayer in your own life and you want to grow in those ways. The goal of this series is that we as a church would be so captivated by Jesus Christ that we would actually reorder our entire lives around Him, which includes the spiritual disciplines. A great Bible teacher and kind of theologian named Dallas Willard, he says that discipleship is being with Jesus to learn from Jesus how to live like Jesus. And there's this sense in which the disciplines are this key opportunity to connect with our God, to connect with Jesus Christ Himself, to dwell with Him, as we've said. And so our hope is that this would be a transformative series for us as a church. But as I said, that we would reorder our lives around Him. When Jesus calls us to follow Him, He actually calls us to take up our cross daily and to follow Him. And that's really a matter of saying, I'm going to leave this old way of life behind to begin a new way of life with Jesus. So that's why I'm talking about the disciplines in a way of saying a way of life. And so I want to stress the importance of gathering, not just with us on Sundays, but also in the context of a community group. And this could be virtual or in person, depending on the group. We want to not only learn about these disciplines in concept, but we want to also work out what we think about them and what we think about connecting with God through them in the context of a community group, and then also have an opportunity to practice them. We want to practice them in the context of community and then on our own as we go about our weeks. So for those of you who are community group leaders, this is kind of an announcement or get ready. Pastor Buzz is going to be sending you an email every week, giving you kind of a vision for what the group gathering could look like, and then also how to practice the discipline that's being covered in that given week. So that's part of why it's just so important for us to be participating, not just on Sundays, but also in community. And lastly, I want you to hear that this is not just something we're going to focus on for a series and then we're done talking about spiritual disciplines, but really the disciplines are, again, a way of life. And so this is more the beginning of this conversation that will continue on into the future. The disciplines are a key way that we are conformed to the image of Christ, that we become more like Him. And the disciplines are meant to be a space where we're renewed, we experience rejuvenation by the Spirit of God, rather than just kind of these rote rituals. And in order to get that into our souls and into our bodies and just into our lives, we're going to have to practice them, practicing the disciplines. So I'm really looking forward to getting into this with you this Sunday and sharing more. And we'll see you then. Take care.